Not paying attention to your writing habits is destroying your consistency. That's why a lot of writers haven't yet finished their book. But if you know how to build the right habits, you can finish that draft faster than you think. If that sounds like something that you need, then stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have a clear system to get you started today. In this video, I'm going to show you 4 ways you can build habits and stay consistent to help you tick off small goals to complete a finished draft. If we've not met yet, hi, I'm Charlie, and I'm a writer with an MA in script writing, and I've been working with Super Freak Media for the last 4 years, creating short horror films that you can find on YouTube. On this channel, I'm sharing my journey to publication, and I'm giving you all the tips and tricks that work for me while I am writing on my latest projects. Before we build habits, it's important to understand what a habit actually is and why we need to build them. You've heard of bad habits, like biting your nails or smoking. They are habits because they are things that people do without really thinking about them. By definition, a habit is a settled or regular tendency or practice, especially one that is hard to give up. In other words, the action almost becomes automatic, and that's the power we want to tap into. If we build a habit correctly, we can tap into that automatic power for your benefit. What we're aiming for is to build a positive habit out of writing. And the only way we can start building a habit is to actually start doing the thing we want to build a habit out of. We want to start writing consistently so that it becomes second nature. So how do we do that? James Clear writes in his book Atomic Habits, "You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems." And all of the tips I'm going to give you in this video are about improving your system to help you write more consistently, to make writing the thing to do. So let's start with making writing obvious. I want you to think of a moment where you've had some spare time in the evening and you're not really sure what to do with yourself. If you're anything like me, you want to be productive in your spare time. So we want to try and make writing the clear and obvious choice for you instead of watching TV or scrolling social media. Improving your writing system could be as simple as setting clear cues for your writing habit. These cues could be something like leaving your notebook or your laptop on the desk open and ready to go so that when you walk by the room, you see it. Because if it's tucked away in a drawer or zipped up in a case, you're less likely to see it and less likely to think about it. And on the rare occasion you do think about it while it's zipped up or tucked away, you think, I can't be bothered to get it out of the case, to hook it up, to charge it, to log in. It's why my guitars are hanging on the wall in my office instead of being tucked behind the sofa. They're easier to access and I'm more likely to pick them up and start playing them. So the more that you can organise your space to remove any potential blockers, the more likely you are to write. Think about your space for a moment and leave a comment letting me and others know something that you could do to make writing more obvious to you. And like I've done with this tip, I'm going to use James Clear's Atomic Habits as a foundation for the rest of them so that we can build a better system for our own writing processes to help us build a habit out of it. If you haven't seen or heard anything about Atomic Habits, firstly, where have you been? Secondly, it's a must read for anyone who is wanting to build a better habit to help them be more productive in anything that they do. So I'll leave a link in the description so you can grab yourself a copy today. Now, tip 2 is to make writing attractive. I don't mean that writing has to be sexy, but you should make the system more appealing to actually help you get started. James writes, the more attractive an opportunity is, the more likely it is to become habit forming. So combining this with the first point, you want to make your writing process seem more attractive as a whole. You could do this by pairing your writing session with something else that you enjoy, or even better, making it the only time you ever do that. So I like listening to a lot of movie soundtracks, stuff like Hans Zimmer, Johan Johansson, and I will listen to them when I'm writing. It's not often I'll be sat around the house just listening to it on the fly, if ever actually. I'll listen to those soundtracks when I'm writing because it's the perfect opportunity to do so, and it's almost like a treat to myself. The want of listening to that music and having that as part of my writing process gives me an excuse to actually sit down and write. It doesn't have to be music. It could be setting a candle, it could be eating or drinking something at the same time as your process. So if you like matcha and you want one, tell yourself you'll only drink it when you actually write. Because if you do this, you make the whole writing process for yourself seem that little bit more attractive, and you'll be drawn to start writing more because you want to have your favourite drink at the same time. You might already be doing this as part of your writing process, so let me know in the comments what it is you do to make writing more attractive to you. Is there something that you do only when you write? Tip 3 is to make writing more rewarding. As well as making writing more appealing to start, you want the completed session to feel more satisfying by being rewarding. Because what is immediately rewarded is repeated, and what is immediately punished is avoided. Celebrate the small win, even if it was 200 words that day, by then having your matcha. Pop out to your local cafe after your writing session and treat yourself, unless it's 3 AM because it's probably going to be closed. By rewarding yourself, you're almost validating your own session, because as writers, we seek validation quite a lot. I'll be the first to admit that I have certainly told people that I am writing something new just so I can hear people say, "Oh, good for you, Charlie, nice one." But as a writer, you are your own biggest fan. You're your own biggest critic too, sure, but you're the only one with the power to push yourself through the writing process to help you finish the book. So if you're the person that's rewarding yourself by ticking off small word count goals, going to the movies, or drinking your matcha after a session, so be it. Make the process feel more rewarding to yourself, and you're more likely to reinforce the habit and remain consistent. Hey, let me just steal 30 seconds of your time to tell you all about something that I have made that helps people like you with your motivation. It's called the Writer's Motivation Kit, and it's an editable PDF designed to help you reconnect with why you write, define your purpose, and push through on the tough days even when writing feels impossible. Inside you'll find practical exercises, motivational prompts, and encouraging reminders that you are a writer, all in a clean and easy to use format. If you've ever struggled with motivation or find yourself stuck staring at a blank page, then this kit was made for you. You can grab your copy right now using the link in the description. Start rediscovering your motivation. Okay, let's get back to the video. Before I jump into the last tip, let me know if you found any of this helpful by tapping the subscribe button. There is plenty more to come on this new channel, and I want to bring you on the journey to publication and help you along the way. So the last tip, tip number 4, is to make writing easy. And I don't just mean the story or the character development. As with all the other tips, I mean the process. James writes, standardize before you optimize. You can't improve a habit that doesn't exist. It's so easy to fall into the trap of setting your sights too high. I'll write the whole book this weekend. No, don't do that. You'll simply overwhelm yourself. Lower the bar and start small. And usually I like to set even smaller goals than I initially set to try and help me. For example, if you're setting yourself the goal of 1,000 words a day, don't. Think smaller than that. Okay, 750 words a day. No, smaller than that. And you might be thinking, well, Charlie, setting a small goal every single time I come to write will take me forever to write the book. That's true, it might, but it's supposed to, because writing a book isn't a sprint. Besides, if you set smaller goals, they're easier to achieve. And if they're easier to achieve, you can reward yourself with your matcha more often. You'll also have more time writing instead of setting up your laptop because you listened to tip 1 and set up your laptop on your desk already. See how we're tying them all in? We're streamlining your system to make writing easy. You'll also find that once you started working towards your goal and you hit the 200 word count, you'd have found some momentum by this point and you use the creative flow to keep going and write even more. When I was writing my first draft, I set myself the target of 750 words a day. And to be honest, that felt like too much at the time. Some days I would only write 200 words. Other days I would write 1,000 words because I'd used the momentum and carried on writing anyway. And other days I didn't write anything at all because I thought, I don't have enough time to write 750 words. What's the point? Having smaller goals means you're more likely to achieve them and less likely to feel disappointed or left behind if you don't achieve it that day. Yes, it's easier to write 200 words than it is 1,000. That is obvious. So if you can achieve consistently small targets, you'll feel more accomplished and you'll be on track to where you need to be. Keep the goal easy and you can always improve the habit later. So let's recap. You want to make writing obvious, attractive, rewarding, and easy. Motivation ebbs and flows, but habits stick. So build the habits and the book will follow. There's plenty of other helpful advice in James Clear's Atomic Habits, not just applicable to writing, but any habit that you want to build, whether that's learning the guitar, improving your darts game, or even drinking more matcha. So let me remind you, there's a link down in the description so you can get yourself a copy today. If you found any of this helpful, let me know by giving the videos a thumbs up and tapping subscribe if you want to see more videos that are designed to inspire and motivate you on your writing journey. And if you've not yet started writing your book, click here to find out why you should. I'll see you there.